Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ETF2L Season 37, Week 4 of the Premiership Division. This is a matchup between Alvin and the Britmunks and the Bus Crew. My name is Wiethoofd. Today on production on this TFTV3 stream, the two other games going on as well. Probably noticed, because I don't even think that this stream is on the TFTV sidebar thing. Dum is here as well as my co-caster. We're going to talk about this wonderful game. Just really exciting.
But if we learned anything over the last year is that we're not doing this necessarily for people to watch live all the time. Sometimes it's good to just have this around for the history books, because you never know when those get deleted.
Exactly. In about a year's time, Aoshi will decide that he just doesn't like TF2 anymore. And you need to...
his finger.
Yep. I don't know if you could hear that, but now all of ETF2L is dead.
Could come that easy. You never know. But yeah, we're here obviously to bookend the week. Not really, I guess not really bookend, but just go through the week here basically before the Cup at the weekend, which is the big thing I think everyone's looking forward to right now, playing the game in Europe. So if anything, this is a really good indicator where people will stack up the rest of the week here going into this Cup, between all these three games tonight and the one tomorrow as well, which will be very interesting to see. And if anything else, hey, I mean, it's still always ETF points on the line.
Yeah, exactly. I think those are the most important things, is that we do have some points on the line, as I accidentally pressed escape to join the server, so now my game has crashed. But, you know, we'll get there in the end.
The day will as well, the trending map, you're not missing much just yet. Everyone's getting ready, obviously. But yeah, I mean, you can see on the tables already, Bus Crew is a strong-looking roster, but had a tough season so far. I mean, sure, they got the win of a global clan that most people expected them to get here. Only one of Feint is maybe not so much surprising, but still a bit disappointing for them, I would imagine. That was the matchup where I figured that's the very important one between these two teams to make a stance for themselves on the tables. They looked really close going into the season. It was really close as well on at least one map. But in the end, obviously, Bus Crew coming out with the worst finish here and clean loss as well against Ascent in the end. Not the least surprising thing as well. But it's still points they're just not getting right now. And they need to get their act together here. And if they can't get wins over the teams that have even less points than them right now, then wherever are they going to get them?
Yeah, and I think this is really sort of a proving ground for the Bus Crew. They want to sort of prove themselves to be in that top four. I think maybe winning a solid 6 points in this week would be a pretty good argument for that. So I actually completely forgot that Alvin and Britmunks have won a whole map. In my head, they'd only gotten like a single point one time, but they actually have 3, which they got last week. So they did beat Kritzberg for defense on Viaduct, it seems, but they did also get smashed 5-0 on Gullywash following up. So, I mean, maybe they're looking to make a little bit of a comeback against the Bus Crew, but if you look at the Bus Crew's game versus Ascent, I feel like that was pretty close for most of it. And then the Bus Crew just kind of got outplayed by really funny stuff that Ascent did, and they just, I don't know, they weren't able to keep up with the star power that Ascent had. They ended up sort of losing that map as well.
Yeah, certainly not a talent-free roster, let's say, by Bus Crew's end here as well, though. Can't underestimate those guys at all. And certainly they have still high expectations into the season here. And like you said, any point counts right now. Same with Britmunks. So obviously, you mentioned they only have one map win right now, which doesn't sound so great. Currently sits them on a tied 6th, 7th position on the table here, right behind Kritzberg with 6 points on their own. But any points you get out of these teams where it's tough for any of the bottom 4 to really get points out of makes a huge difference at the end of the season.
Yeah, and I think if there is a team that you're looking to upset, it's probably going to be the Bus Crew. Maybe there's an argument that Feint just comes out and plays absolutely horrible, like drops a point like they did to Bus Crew, but I think there's, at least so far, it seems like there's definitely like 2 tiers to the season, where there's one, just the top 4, and then there's the bottom 4 that kind of are scrapping for anything.
Feint are in the Spanish circle called the chokers, so there could always be a space and time where they just lose a map maybe. Get into golden cap, but they need to certainly were already close enough to do that against Kritzberg, who, to be fair for their own right, already are pulling a little bit ahead from the bottom of the table here, getting at least a tie against all of them they played so far.
Yeah, exactly. I think we should just go through the rosters quite quickly. We've got on Bus Crew, we've got Adelos and Caper on Scout, Warped and Jevon coming in on Pocket and Roma respectively. I don't know if that was the correct order. Telly is on Demoman, and then also Martin on Medic. Some of these guys have been around for a while, and maybe some of the other people, maybe Jevon and Caper. Caper did play Prem last season, but he's pretty good at the game.
Yeah, I mean, he always was the playmaker for that season's Ascent, even if it didn't quite all fit together at the end of the season. Still, though, him and Jevon have been a package deal for quite a while now, making it both into Premiership now together once more. Will be interesting to see how they perform. What's also interesting to notice that this will not actually be the lineup they are featuring in the Cup on the weekend. It will be slightly different. I believe it was debated who was playing Demoman between Idlers and Nation, but Nation will be playing for them as well. And then they swap according to what they feel is best. It will be interesting. Idlers has more experience. Nation, I'm not so sure about. Whatever works best for them. I guess they still have time to practice after this match here, which is probably why they want to play on Wednesday, not on Thursday. Gives them at least a little bit more time to figure out what they want to do here from here on forward. But for now, this needs to be a working win for them, or it's going to be looking a little bit ugly for them to just catch up with the rest of the top of the table.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess we should go across the pond here and try to take a look a little bit at Alvin and the Chipmunks, or the Britmunks, sorry. Got Samsky and ALV on Scouts, Koyo Mathis on Rome and Pocket as well. ALX is on Demoman and then Auto on Medic. And these guys, if you haven't been paying attention to the lower leagues, you're not going to know anyone besides Samsky and Mathis. But these guys have also, most of the players on this team have been around for a while, but they've been around sort of the lower tier. Been around the sort of Div 1, Div 2 level instead of the Premiership level. But, you know, they've been looking solid so far, at least pulling ahead a little bit away from Global Clan, which is definitely not a place you want to be right now.
I mean, they changed also, maybe it can help them. Either way, I mean, like you said, some people have less experience than others. I've decided after getting second in low, one of those two things last season, which also was a step down for him, to be fair. He was in high divisions before that, but he helped out in low with some friends, and then he figured, well, now I want to try hard. Let's go Prem, I guess. So he is with Alex and Tau as well as the other Finn on this British team. Otherwise, it will be interesting to see how they can perform. Auto obviously coming out of the one season Koyo, I believe, as well. And as you said, Mathis, Samsky are the staples here. Samsky not so much on Scout, but it just gives them more excuses to play Sniper. So it's a win for Samsky at the very least.
Yeah, so interestingly, last week it was actually ALV picking up the Sniper on product, which is not something you expect on a Samsky team. So Samsky, well known for sniping even though Kunu was on his team, which is my favorite anecdote of all time.
I mean, even Devo sniped when Kunu was on his team, so Kunu is just getting shafted every time.
Yeah, it's a bit unlucky, but I think we decided we're going to take a little bit of a look at the Demoman as well. I don't really have much opinions on this. Apparently the stats seem to be pretty even.
Yeah, I mean, they had very different stories on their season so far, right? Basku had like two really tough matchups on them, one of which really close, but still. On the other side, obviously, it was a bit of a different story as well, where they only got 3 points total as well. So they got to similar results here a little bit, maybe feeling that he's still about here, but still fairly close at least in the end. This is why it will just goes to show that like it all needs to fit together on all parts for everyone to shine here. And now these two, like really close looking down, will square up against each other. Let's see how that will end up for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly a bit surprised that the stats are as close as they are. I've never really interacted with ALX that much, even sort of like paid attention to him in the lower divisions, but apparently he's putting up a decent fight against Deli, which could be interesting. I think it's definitely sort of his time to prove himself. Get a little bit.
Yeah, this will be really interesting, I think, on that apartment here.
Yeah, and that's probably the case for a lot of these players on the server. Koyo as well is a pretty new game out of Prem. He's been around for a little bit at this point, but it's his first time stepping in on a stage that's even this close to big. I don't even think he's played Div 1.
I think he played games, but not as a main, I believe. I could be wrong on that one, but it's hard to fact check, obviously, from last year. But he's been about. He made, at the very least, he made Div 2 playoffs, like third place or something like that, right behind the compound before they won that season. So, you know, got at the very least right on the doorstep of Div 1, if not actually playing it. But he always was someone who, and when we talked before the season, before the game about people that like to delete people from the roster, sometimes, from the friends that sometimes it applies to people playing teams as well. Sometimes you just, season was bad, just move on to the next thing. You don't stick on rosters for too long until maybe you find the one that works. Who knows if it's this one? They played a cup together. Maybe they can play some longer here as well.
Yeah, we are going live once again. This is ETF2L Premiership Week 4 between Alvin and the Britmunks, and also Bus Crew on the enemy team. Deli is rolling out to mid, and so far he's dealing a little bit of damage to Auto early on. Jevin, nice little kill onto Koyo there.
Yeah, not so much proving ground right now when you're dead. Dwarf trying to get some damage in as well. Does circle out quite early, but has the ability to let the rest of the team push forward. They're taking that opportunity right away. He gets counter-jumped a little bit here. Martin will get caught in a crossfire courtesy of Mathis, but with nothing else alive on the midpoint and the only two survivors being way out of there. At the very least, they claim the cap here. It's not the win you were looking for, I suppose, but it's a win nonetheless.
Yeah, they get this win, but with Auto not dying and Martin dying in the meantime, Koyo finding a kill onto Wiethoofd as well, that actually sets this up pretty nicely for the Britmunks to sort of try and get back into this onto second. You see them actually on top already. Auto has this 100% charge. He is, with both his scouts, waiting for some extra players. The blue team right now in the Bus Crew, they want to get this forced out very early on at the moment. Mathis is looking at some stickies. There's a soldier in on the medic. He does get the force there, Jevin. That's pretty nice. Caper has gone down in the meantime as well. Stickies on the point. Don't think they will matter. But they get the force here out of the Bus Crew, which gives them a decent advantage here.
But
only
with
losing
down.
two, it looks like they want to press this advantage.
I don't know if I can say only two. This matters quite a bit. Look at that, they're so far back on Busker already. They're really not willing to fight this right now with the numbers down there. Even if you use it to a team with no Uber like this, if your players down this much, they have an easy time kiting and getting players behind this wall for the post Uber to just completely destroy you. So Busker playing it careful here. Two men just a bit too much on the sack, which is unfortunate because Javin did it as well, like all on his own, and Caper was unfortunately with the power pints that not required for that sack, but was in anyway at that point. So nothing you can do about that one. They will fall back to last. Do have the Uber ability to play out of last, however, is a different story just with this Uber here.
Yeah, especially with Auto building this up as well. He's at 90% already. They were playing this a little bit passively, but you can see now Auto nearing that 100%. They're starting to get a little bit more aggressive here. There are some stickies up on top, placed by Deli. Be looking to get something, but it is pretty difficult, to be honest, to really do anything when you're holding last like that. Rather just set up a defense. You can see they've got a gun, they've got a pyro. You're never going to push this unless Martin makes a huge mistake. Feels like he just shouldn't die.
Alright, this is the big stalemate time now. Both teams playing it careful here. Busker obviously starting things off early by just not trying to lead last when it's not safe. Question is how much Busker can do here. This is a bit of a whiplash for me as well. I've come out of watching an open game before this just for the fun of it. I had time. It was at 6 o'clock. Why wouldn't I? Now I can see how the Premiership teams are handling this stalemate, which is probably going to be quite a bit different. But one thing doesn't change. People love to jump the river there. And the off classes won't slow down either. But Samsky only gets the side stab there, not a back stab onto the medic, unfortunately.
Yeah, not quite able to get in with that spy. It seems to be one of the only real options you have trying to get in onto that medic. You can see even a sniper doesn't necessarily work because he's just hiding behind like 3 things at once. There we go. There's an Uber coming out of warp right now into the big door. It's traded on immediately here. ALX, they're just kind of staring at each other. Neither team can really do any damage. Look at Auto. He's actually going so far. Wants to save a single player. Ends up losing Mathis right now. Auto pretty low as well. He's 120 HP. There's a scout just in on him. Deli 40 HP. ALV is going to go down. Auto somehow 50 HP leaves with his demo, but look, his team is now 4 dead. It's just a demo man and a medic. Looks like it's just a medic. As he tried to go and save his teammate. Unfortunately, Mathis just maybe overstaying his welcome a little bit. You really need to open the spawn door, man. Oh no.
No, but it's not happening.
Okay.
Oh no, he doesn't. He
did
lives that. Auto managed to get into the forward spawn just barely. This was really, let's say, cocky, I think. I can't come up with a better word right now for it. By Busker, though. They're just popping into they're not even popping, they're just going into the second from last. And camping in front of them while the exchange is happening. Don't care. Mathis dies trying to block that, obviously, and doesn't get there in time anymore. And suddenly, we're just on the other side of last. Samsky back on his main, instantly gets the snipe going here. Yep. Will help a little bit, but with the Ubers as they are, I don't think Busker is too hard pressed to play aggressive right now.
Yeah, right now they're just gonna probably just go a little bit further back. They know that sniper Samsky, obviously terrifying on this pick. He has been known to do it, as we mentioned. He's pretty good at it. He's played it for a while. So he's gonna spend his time staring at the ground, which, you know, it's the sniper way. You sit here at the floor, you don't reveal the sniper dot, but where else would the sniper be looking if he's holding last? There we go. Samsky finally getting bored. Not the attention span of a CSGO player, so he has to move around a little bit, at least. You can see that Jevin tries to peek him, goes down, Actually,
Delhi
Deli ends up eating a little bit of damage as
Another
well.
pile.
Back off.
Right
Oh
in front of
no!
Alf instantly gets that kill.
Yeah, so with Deli going down as well, looks like they want to go forward here out of the Britmunks. Adelos is going to go down. Uber traded across, but there's 3 dead right now for the bus crew. They have to get out here. Warp finally jumping a little bit back. Uber is fading. Might be able to just run out of Big Door for free here. Mathis and the Pyro spamming out. They're looking to get this cap now, but they have to be really careful. This is a pretty hard position if you are the red team, because there are so many places that the enemy team could just decide to run in from.
It looks like they have things under control right now. Choke is being looked at as well. They're not anywhere close to Big Door with the knowledge they have from Choke as well here. So everything wrapping up rather nicely. Bosco might have gotten away with this, but clearly not the winner of this one here as well. However, immediately still taking opportunity out of this one as well. Jevin in the back lines right away with this one as the rest of them are just poking and prodding. Looks like they are aware of it. Koyo and Samsky looking for that in the lobby area if they can help it at all. They know he's there. And they take that fight very quickly with them too.
Yeah, so Jevin going down there on the flank kind of allows them to open a door. Like, not even metaphorically. It allows him to sort of... He's going to get that forward spawn. He's going to let either Caper or Adelos go for an off-class should they choose to do so. But looks like actually the red team, Alvin, getting really aggressive here. Mathis taking a trade through the choke right now. But look at all those stickies. All of that damage coming through. He can't really get anything done right now. So he was just traded across. No pick has been found. Looks like Bus Crew not willing to commit to anything either. That is that's a funny one.
Ooh, Caper tries to sneak behind, but that was being watched. Well, Koyo already immediately takes him down. And that was, by the looks of it, the one play they had. You bait Big Door, send someone behind, and immediately fall back. But with no one going behind with this in the end, won't accomplish much either. So this even Uber stalemate right now will stay intact for a little bit longer. Might be even Uber, but no one has just yet. I don't think this was really encouraging anyone to make a play just yet, though. They probably, both sides want to play this safe until they have the safety net of the Uber.
Yeah, safety net indeed. Samsky right now is back on the spy. He's just checking for off classes, and there we go. That's the real class. That's what we want to see. He's on the sniper, and he's looking actually to rotate top here. It's interesting, because that angle can only hit his own team. As he actually just leaves his soldier to fight the enemy scout, runs away as Caper just gets a kill onto Koyo. Samsky choosing not to help his teammate there. Maybe he didn't quite notice. As never mind. Look, it's actually Jevin and Caper. They've both managed to get behind here for the bus crew. This could be very interesting. Actually, Jevin going forwards here. He finds a medic onto the point right now, but there's not enough damage able to come across. Auto goes down to about 80 HP as Jevin and Caper both get taken down. It looks like right now the bus crew are maybe wanting to go in for a counter here.
Well, certainly staying close, and that works a little bit. Martin does not use for warp though, so it's just on the scout here right now, losing one more. Still wastes a lot of time though. Spawns are coming up soon if they can just keep position during this exchange, which certainly looks like it already. This is looking all fine for them. It wasn't pretty with how this all played out, but in the end, this exchange isn't going anywhere for Britmunks either. They're not letting this through this choke point at all, and no quick rotation right now by the looks of it for Britmunks either.
Yeah, so the Britmunks, they're just going to go back to what they already know and love. You have Samsky on the sniper, just going to kind of wait for a while. You can see he's changed from looking at the floor to looking at a side panel, studying the architecture of this map that Khalid recently built from scratch, apparently, as he doesn't quite hit that shot onto a scout. Soldier peeking him instead. Maybe. Oh, never mind. Okay. Soldier now in behind. Jevin once again gonna go for the same play he's attempted a few times. Actually picks up a nice little kill there onto Koyo. Decent rocket as well. Does announce his presence, but look at Alexei. He's not really able to not look at the big door. He can't afford to. There's so much damage he has to deal to keep the enemy team out of it. With Jevin in behind, he should be able to sow a little bit chaos. He's actually going in from top this time. He managed just to get onto Auto there. Gets the force. That's a really nice rocket. A little bit of unlucky timing there out of Auto.
Yeah, he jumped for some reason, and it just meant he couldn't really go anywhere. Got chucked at the worst way possible, where he just went nowhere at all.
Yep.
Has to use the lift, and this is just turning around everything right now. Bus Crew now in a better position by far here, if they can just walk this in cleanly. People still about on top, obviously trying to maybe get a force in, but you have to be careful to not overextend yourself. If Bus Crew's fast, they might be able to catch you out on that one.
Yeah, you can see Deli actually jumping forwards. He's pretty confident that Alvin and the Britmunks aren't really going to go for anything major here. They're just checking for stickies everywhere. The Ubercharge advantage is actually only at about 20% now. They have been hard building this onto Auto right now. Warp still wants to go. Auto can actually just hold it. There's a sentry gun up, as it is just going to get shut down immediately. But look at that, the counter Uber comes out of Auto right now. That's going to send the bus crew running away, or should I say driving away, from the enemy team. Martin actually does get picked up there. The only player falling being your medic. The bus crew really just not able to get in quite fast enough. As Alvin and the Britmunks, they build the Uber back up. Have a comfortable advantage now. Comfortable lead, should we say.
Yeah, this also just shows one thing we talked about before the season started with the new melee medic melee weapon allowed. That you can see obviously the enemy's Uber percentage, but that doesn't matter if you don't have a line on them, and they certainly didn't. As the back starts to happen, comes through. Oh no, Warp and Javin both going down on the attempt. He wasn't actually a scout, it was both soldiers behind play trying to make this happen. Can't brute force their way into backlines though. And suddenly it's a whole different story here, because there's just nothing alive. For what feels like 3 times now, Busker is always committing so much for these plays right now. Always going down just a few too many people, to the point where they just cannot hold more than 1 point in a row here. Suddenly Red Team out of last is on mid already, with advantage to spare as well.
Yeah, they do have an advantage, but it's actually dwindling already in Martin, and about 90%. Jevin is taken down there by Samsky. There's a demo man on top, could possibly be caught in now. Mathis gets a really nice position, double a nice rocket there onto Adler, shuts him down, which is 2 kills for the Britmunks. They're going to be looking to take a lobby here. They don't have an Ubercharge advantage anymore, but they do have a player advantage. Adler still down. There's no off-classes coming out of the bus crew. The Ubers are popped out of both teams right now, but it looks like no position's really able to be secured whatsoever. Britmunks are back out, but oh no, Delhi! Just kind of presses W and his team's not there. Then he dies. So now with the demo down for the Britmunks, this could be pretty good. Samsky, however, decides to offer his life. There is a heavy up, and that is so much damage. Oh.
Caper just flanked him the entire way here into the other side of river to try to sneak out on the medic. Doesn't work. 2 down right now once again for the Busker. And Britmunk's been loving these 2-player advantages. They want to play off these as much as they can. Heavy in a way of things. Point play by Alf is not getting through either.
The point!
Maybe not quite. They threw everything they had on that besides the medic, and Samsky right now just sitting in the back, building away. Really close call here. Lacking a little bit. I think one more player from under might have done the job. They're leaving Javin on last to be able to have the safety net of backup denied if it comes down to it. But right now, the spawns are all up here. None of them are in the backlines. They're capping up second. Bus crew remaining control of this one. This has certainly already been a lot closer than either of us anticipated. Bus crew really having to work hard for anything they get here. And right now, always asking for a little bit too much when they have advantages.
Yeah, it feels like maybe... just, yeah, as you're saying, they're trying to go for a little bit too much, being a little bit over-eager. Alvin and the Britmunks able to capitalize off of it, not giving in, as maybe feels like Bus Crew are getting a little bit, I don't want to say getting too comfortable after their previous sort of weeks, but it does sort of feel like there are some overconfidences. Maybe they feel like they can take these DM fights. They're just not quite able to deliver it. Losing them in the end does mean that the pushes ultimately are gonna fail. The Ubercharge advantages they are pushing off of aren't really that big, because Auto has just been hard building it so far this game.
I mean, that's what I was talking about, right? Like, the new weapon only shows you as much as you can see, and if you can't see the other medic, then it doesn't matter. Certainly in the stalemate, you shouldn't ever, as a medic, have the line to the other medic unless you're halfway through big door already, and they somehow stand in front of you, which is very unlikely. So you still have to follow your instincts here quite a bit, even with that as an advantage. I think it's much more so useful when you know you're doing something off of, like no advantage. This is all just to confirm how much it is exactly and to call damage, I guess. Which is still relevant, don't get me wrong. But it certainly won't change cellmates all too much here. The knowledge remains the same all the way through here, which is to say, not much knowledge being exchanged right now. Both teams playing it rather safe. It is still a scoreless game right now. Neither team would like to see them as the one going down first here.
Yeah, so you can see right now, Jevin's actually just left his PC. He's just going to sit there and he's just going to wait. As ALX and Mathis are adopting a similar strategy. Mathis actually set up an auto-clicker. Right now he's actually eating dinner as a, well, dog pet in the other hand. As both teams just kind of waiting right now for the enemy to do something. Who gets bored first? Who wants to just be a CS player and just not play the game, you know?
That doesn't sound ethical. God gave you 2 hands to pet 2 dog. not eat dinner. That's a
Do you
real way to
remember
do it.
the legendary video of Don, who sits behind his Counter-Strike player at a really old iSeries LAN, and he talks about how the CS's favorite activity is waiting?
Well, I mean, I hate to break it to you, but there's a lot of waiting here as well sometimes.
Yep.
For good reason, to be fair. I mean, it's not like these guys don't want to play the game. It's just they also don't want to lose, and the fastest way to lose a game is to do things you shouldn't, to commit to mistakes the opponent's team is just waiting for to punish right now. So both teams playing it rather slow. Surprised no one's been like sacking to switch off to something else once again here. We've seen plenty of sniping this match before. Surprised none of that just yet. But then again, hasn't done a ton as well. Not like Samsky didn't hit shots so far, but they won like influential kills this match so far.
Yeah, so it feels like these guys are just kind of posturing. You could even see it in chat. Deli asking if they're playing the game. Math is saying he could do it all day. As Caper right now, he is just going to run back to spawn. Go spy first to check if the enemy has any sort of off classes right now. Maybe they're just reading books to each other. Or...
Well, I've just launched Fortnite, so there you go.
Yeah, okay. He's going to get the quick victory royale. Caper is actually on the sniper this time. He's going to try to go for something. He has 4 monitors apparently, ALV. So he's watching anime as well. 2 different animes at the same time.
Well, let's see the snipes coming through. Caper, I know he can snipe. It's still surprising for me to see him not on sniper instead of the one being running into the back lines.
Oh.
Quick body shot coming through. That's well the no-scope.
Yeah, so right now, Caper and Samsky both sort of peeking out. You can barely grasp Samsky's hat there. There we go. Caper does find it. That's another kill onto Koyo, actually. 3 dead all of a sudden for Alvin and the Britmunks. Right now, Deli actually does end up going down to this spam. Coming out of ALX and Mathers right now. So the Uber actually forced out here, both teams, but with a demo down for either team. Caper tries to juke out the soldier, does end up getting taken down. So, Bus crew, they are walking into mid now as they get that demo kill.
Oh, they're free down out of this time.
Yeah, this is kind of rough.
Oh yeah, they're instantly into choke, just walking over Analos. No one that's already. Martin gets caught by Alpha as well. Walks back as he pistols, doesn't even want to get close and still gets the medic anyway.
Yeah, so the bus crew once again feels like maybe they're just overstaying their welcome. They're kind of forgetting that they're 3 dead. They push up maybe the wrong side. I feel like if they had gone up through their own choke, they would have been in a little bit safer position instead of running up the enemy side. Just kind of sat there, waiting for the enemy team to come through. So now, Alvin and the Britmunks, they find themselves with a player out. They have got second already, and Auto's at 85%. Meanwhile, Martin's only at 35%.
Alright, this is really good news for Britmunks if they want to go up in this game. Very soon here, they have the opportunity. This has to still be a good push, and there's a gun and a sentry, gun and a pyro in the way of things here. Spamming that down pretty quickly though. They're getting past this defensive step up already. Not getting on point just yet though.
Yep, another kill comes out onto Warp right now. Jevin gets taken down as well, but look at that. The Pyro is up. Finds a kill onto Mathis right now, but he is also just standing in the face of the scout. There's stickies on the point. Demo is behind it. They're trying to get these stickies cleared. Deli's like 80 HP. There we go. Martin's dead. It's just Deli left alive, but look at ALX's HP. He's actually so low. I don't know if they can do this. It's Samsky versus the world. He's so low, and they actually manages to hold this. They weren't able to bait the stickies. Deli just never quite right-clicking. They weren't able to comfortably get onto that point. They don't get the cap, even though the enemy team, they were 2 up. Both of them had a combined HP of like 160.
This is a PSA. You can walk through under onto the point for the flank on the head moment there. Something they probably couldn't do in the heat of the moment there, trying to just get everyone in the first place, but certainly would have helped quite a bit. Also, couple that with the Pyro just living forever, even if they go down eventually here. And just took so much time. The Capers will certainly put an end to this one. They're not done fighting yet, though. They want to get in on the second, warp in all the way to choke. Will get Deeper Force, but at the cost of his life and everyone else being weak and Shutter as well. Gets barely out here. Maybe not the scout here. Caper caught as well. They're having to recap second, but they might still have an opportunity to just run away with this right now.
Yeah, so they got that force out of the enemy team, but ALV maybe just getting a little bit aggressive. It feels like they're funneling one at a time, and that just allows Atlas to come in and clean everything up. 3 kills already. Mathis finally does get a kill. Samsky is alive and well, but maybe it's a little bit difficult right now. Auto, the only man left alive on his team, is going to have to make a little bit of a run for it. He is getting chased down by pretty much every player in the game. This is so hard. He actually jukes and dodges. There we go. Caper gets the kill on Auto. Martin just spawned as well. Should be building a little bit of an advantage here.
Okay, I know Auto has a bit of a gambling addiction, jokingly. However, staying in that late for one soldier to arrow him is not a good bet to take here. That's just asking for trouble on the way out if it comes down to it. And certainly, I think those math is just going to be overwhelmed by too many people, no matter how many arrows you throw at him. Anyway, DuMmTm back on his main and instantly gets a kill for it.
Yeah, it looks like Abelos has been taken down as well. Koyo, the only one on his team. There we go. Warped and Deli both picked up as well. So now it's 2 alive for the bus crew. They managed to throw it all away. Caper and Martin are going to run out of lobby. Martin actually gets so low. Eats a lot of rockets out of Mathers, who is just not quite going to be able to kill the scout class. All of enough in the world, all the plugins. Still can't 2v1 a scout and a medic. What is this game, Dum?
Well, it's a Scout Fortress. You might have heard of it. The game where we are going back and forth at a rapid pace between points right now, but we're constantly finding ourselves way back. 2 bus crews last right now. They do have Uber already, and they want to take a chance on Blasty. They don't want to spend any more time on the back foot. Fair enough, but they will definitely have to go for the Uber fight here.
Yeah, so the Ubers are popped out of both teams right now. Neither team, finally, there we go. Mathers is going to drop down immediately. Koyo dead as well, so that's both soldiers. Caper's 69, very epic HP behind the enemy team, but looks like he's going to get spotted out there. His own team not able to capitalize off of it. Does steal away a pack, but look at ALX. He's actually got Sticky set up on his own choke. The enemy choke, rather. Samsky finds the kill onto Caper as well. Looks like Big Door is going to be the push out of the enemy team. Auto is taken down, however, but they trade too. Both soldiers are dead. Caper down as well. Maybe it looks like they just want to push this in anyway.
This was really good damage the entirety of the mid-fight through here by ALX, just pumping down everybody with these stickies here, and immediately by the time they're on second again, just lock down the shutter door as well, just to say goodbye to any chances for Basket to walk back in here quickly. With Auto going down, this is still a little bit of an asterisk at the end of that fight here though, because obviously there's no way they can easily keep this. They can maybe get some plays going, but even then you would have to be in already, and certainly no one's in position to do that just now.
Yeah, so right now, Samsky back on the spy class this time around. He's actually sitting in a corner, but I think they might have just bumped him accidentally, not noticed, thank the Lord, as Uber popped out. But I think the enemy medic just saw him decloak there. That's 2 kills coming out of Delhi with that Uber charge. Auto's stuck behind a point right now. Koyo has managed to find a kill onto Delhi finally, but he needs to join up with his medic right now. His own demo man is just dead. Run back for Samsky right now. There we go. Shri is dead and no longer with us. So they managed to clean him up, get the second point. They do get onto second here, but Auto, he's got a bit of an ad.
Alright, let's see what they can do with this out of last, though. That's a much different story. We've seen Basku being very relentless on not trying to sit on last at all. Certainly, with how quick both teams are taking this one, they're not giving the other team any time to get anything going forward as well. Just immediately back into second, not let this fight go anywhere close to last at all. Javan having different ideas, wants to sneak behind. They spot that one well ahead of time there. ALX just not letting anyone flank in the backlines there for free. And that's exactly what you want to see here. Devilman just having full control of the lobby area while the rest of the team takes us through top. It's just how this is going by the textbook here.
Uber's coming out now. They weren't able to push that in quick enough despite the Demoman advantage. You just see them looking at each other in mid. Now with the Ubers traded, neither team really able to get any sort of favorable position on the other side of the choke points. They're just probably just going to push it right back up, build this Uber once again. Maybe watch out for the enemy team. That's pretty much all they're going to do. There is now, I think this is starting to get more and more relevant. There's only 6.5 minutes left. And I think Buskers can feel that. They actually go in. Jevon gets a kill onto Auto. Mathers goes down as well. Jevon is going to get taken down by Alv. But is it going to be enough right now? Warped is trying to get a funny rocket on him. Does get him. Unfortunately, wasn't quite with hand on his keyboard there. Did end up going down. But with Auto going down there, Martin is at 80%. If there's ever a golden ticket for the bus crew, it is right now.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they like this golden ticket more than the golden cap right now, because if they don't make this one happen, with how this game has been going, that might as well be the future here. This has to work right now for them, trying to take this few shot. No time to build much at all. They just have to power up to try to defend this, and the sticks on point to lock things down here. Caper starting to go point, however, already they're onto the Demoman, has to get by LX, but there's damage on the other side as well. Warp on point, jumps the Demoman, and there's no chance ALX can live all that.
Yeah, so the bus crew, they finally managed to get around. Looks like they just... Finally, that go button was enough. They looked at the round time and like, oh yeah, we can just like jump through choke after we traded that. And looks like Britmunks just weren't quite expecting that. They were just looking for a setup there. Auto gets caught out by Jevin. Really nice play by him, getting them around. That looks like the way this game has been going, maybe the only round. They have to set up the pace here with the amount of time left. Samsky already going down immediately. He is going to get traded off by Koyo here. But on the middle so far, look at how far back the Britmunks are. Caper going down. Looks like maybe they want to do something. Deli is right up into the enemy choke. Math is 1 HP dancing around a corner. Splash damage doesn't care about corners. As right now, Koyo in Big Dog is going to have to walk back here. They do get the mid victory on the bus crew. The positioning on the Britmunks on second as well. Looks like maybe they won't be contesting much of this.
They don't have a choice much. Getting stuck on last now is certainly curtains already. Deli going down early is a great thing to have early in this fight. And look at that, all of us is immediately a lot more hesitant to take space. One more bomb through onto the medic, doesn't get close at all. I've shut that one down, and with these two down, they're all leaving this point way ahead of time here, trying to not lose much more. Certainly at this point, you don't need to win more, you just need to win, you just need to lose less on Basku right now, so they're cutting the losses early here.
Yeah, they do lose their demo man, so Warped is going to be right in there in choke. It's going to take that Uber trade, as it does come out of both teams. Neither team, once again, is kind of backing off, going their own way. But that, as you're saying, it favors the bus crew this time around. 4.5 minutes left. This is pretty good for them, honestly. They could definitely try to stalemate this out. Britmunks, they have to go in, because if they want to win a round and then potentially not have to go to Golden Cap, they pretty much have to win a round now and then another round on top of that. That's pretty much what they're playing for. They're going to have to go aggressive. They're going to have to figure out something sooner rather than later at this point.
Well, I mean, we've seen people try to play with small nets before. Certainly at this point, Britmunks don't have a choice but to do it. Do have the small net to do it with, I guess, but they will have to act incredibly quickly with this, and Busk is all really far back on mid right now, so it doesn't exactly make this all the easier. 3 minutes left to go. It's risky trying to wait for a better opportunity now at this point.
Yeah, but they pretty much have to go in, as once again. But Martin, look at this. He actually has Uber now. You can see Mathis. He wants to go forward. He's sitting in choke right now, so he decides, okay, I'm just going to walk through drop down. But that scout spots him out immediately. He has to go into the enemy big door, sort of compensate. But Caper gets a kill onto Samsky on the flank, and that's going to shut down pretty much all of the offensive. Bus crew know exactly where Mathis is, so right now they are going to go in. The Ubers were traded. Mathis is in behind, gets a kill onto Martin right now. ALX is going to go down, so is Koyo. Pretty much everyone is dead on both sides. Mathis has managed to find himself a 2k. There is height advantage to soldier in onto his medic, as he does get that kill. Once again, Deli is going to walk in, however, Auto gonna have to fend him off for himself. Eats one pipe. That's a sword in your face. The anime warrior doesn't get the kill. As nobody likes anime, apparently.
The model practice has paid off well for Auto today.
Yeah, Warped is actually going to try to go in here. Look at that. That's a scout behind him. Caper's in onto Auto, gets the kill. And that shuts down the offensive out of the Britmunks pretty much entirely. They have to pretty much get a wipe here. It's so difficult for them, especially with Samsky, Koyo, and ALX going down. It's just Mathis left alive, and I think Bus Crew right now, they're feeling it pretty nice. A round to confirm this would do them wonders. Martin, 50 HP already. They just lose that soldier in Warped. They can get this second up and rolling. The soldier, meanwhile, should be up by the time they want to push this last and end this.
Yeah, certainly barely have to do that even. 1.5 minutes left. Like I said before, you just have to stop losing right now, and it should be fine at this point. Certainly, obviously, second round just writes things home even more like that, but at this point that's barely necessary. People on red team already starting to push into lobby. They don't have a choice, and it's not the best choices to make here, unfortunately, as well. When you're stuck in this position, losing 2 for the force leaves not much on last right now. They get Draven for it, I suppose, but you can see Basku just slowly but surely takes the entrance here just to combine the damage well, and certainly are doing that just now. Adler's on cap already. Scamsy cannot stop that in time. If there ever was the last bit of hope for Britmunks left on this map, it is all gone now.
Yeah, so it looks like the Bus Crew will be taking this 2-0 in the end, but that was really close for such a long time. Felt like it really just came down to a few tiny individual plays coming out of both Caper and Jevin, able to find kills onto Auto 2 separate occasions, taking the wind out of the enemy's sails. Maybe, I don't know, like taking the petrol out of the engine. I don't know how to make that analogy work. I'm trying to make car themes. I don't know a lot about cars, dumb.
Well, one way or another, Britmunks need to come back strong next map here. This is close enough as is. And sometimes that's just a map thing, and you never want that to be true, obviously, especially not on Britmunks' side, but sometimes, maybe Basku is just better on Sunshine. You never know for sure until it happens. We will see, I suppose, but Britmunks need to keep the hope up here. They cannot feel too down here. They need to keep in mind how close this has been the entire match, basically.
Thankfully, we both know that the players on Alvin and the Britmunks are not known as chokers whatsoever, or sort of tilters.
Never. Who would say that?
Absolutely.
Mean.
Hearts of steel out of them. But that was honestly pretty gross. I feel like should be like, if you are Alvin the Britmunks, you should be feeling pretty good about this. As we could maybe, if you want to, take a look at some logs, but I think they do perfectly reflect the fact that this was a game where both teams were stalemating for ages, so the scouts are just like, they're on some happy cool Thalash type damage per minute, while maybe some sheepy style damage per minute is probably a better description. Meanwhile, Mathis was the guy who got to sit and choke and spam the entire time, is going to top the damage with a solid 314 damage per minute. But again, like, this was such a stalematy game. I feel like there's not that much you glean from the logs here.
Hell, it was such a stalematy game. The demo man are third in the heal percentages as well, which is something you never really see. Sometimes second behind a scout that's building too much, but like both Mathis and Warp just eating all the heals for the team to just be able to tank stuff and choke, spam a bit more, take a bit more presence there. Very unique, let's say, in terms of how that is distributed here. Either way though, like I said, or like you said, sorry, Scout's obviously not going to benefit of slow games like this. Is War slow for quarter wire. Still, the story of this game is a lot more interesting than these logs make out to be, obviously. So, because this was a nail-biter till the bitter end here. Basku had to fight to get 3 points out of this, and they can be happy that it's 3 and not any less than that.
Yeah, and I guess that puts them in a pretty comfortable position going into Sunshine. But as you were saying earlier, I feel like you have to mention as well that Sunshine is pretty much notorious for, I think it's probably the hardest last to push out of any of the maps in the current pool. It's like, I've seen some games on this map where you try to push last, and you have to cover so much ground, and with off classes set up properly on the enemy team, there's so much health you have to chew through as well in order to sort of end up getting that cap. It can be so difficult to actually finish off a round, and that was what we saw this entire time. Both teams tried again and again to push last, and it was only really Buster in the end managed to get a couple of easy victories there.
Sunshine will surely be an interesting map to see here in comparison. I've only seen a couple of maps of Sunshine so far this season, and they're always very different from the Gullywash match beforehand. So I hope this will be still at the very least as interesting as the last one, even if it's a much different story here. Also, quick shoutouts to Otto, who did die less than Martin last game, even by 2. It was like 6 against 4 deaths or something like that. So that medic comparison will look a little bit prettier in his favor next time on the stats once again here.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, it's a gambling addiction.
What?
But that's besides the point.
Does he play competitive Pokemon?
No, which is also gambling, true.
Okay, anyway.
No, he just can't stop betting on my stream. It's very sad.
Oh. I don't know if I have any more points on your stream. I think I betted all on like a team that didn't win, and so it's so sad. So I feel like when you go into a map like Sunshine, because we're back on topic, Dum. And my segues are just, I've been watching a lot of Linus Tech Tips recently, and I feel like it's really just, it's boosted my potential.
Has it boosted your FPS?
No.
Well, I don't think it worked then.
Actually, no, because I started watching Linus Tech Tips, and then like 2 months later, I made a new PC, and I guess it technically boosts my FPS, because it's not a 8-year-old PC like I used to have. But anyways, Sunshine's a map.
True.
Where that's actually pretty good for demo man.
We also live in a society.
It's if you are a demo man on this map, it's pretty much the only class that's able to properly spam with projectile. Soldier spam on Sunshine is pretty much non-existent coming into most points, just simply due to the nature of the choke points and how the angles sort of end up sort of in the desperate intent of realizing that this map would have some absolutely ridiculous sniper sight lines if he didn't put up massive barriers all around the place. It makes soldier spam pretty difficult to do. End up a lot of that choke spam stuff falls into the hand of the demo man. Soldier kind of reserved for doing cool fancy jumps that don't do anything, because you shoot yourself really high into the sky and you give the enemy team like 10 seconds to react to your presence. I think this is not a good map for soldiers, to be honest, like unless you're pushing into lobby. So for Warped and for Jevin ultimately did end up, for me at least, being kind of the difference maker towards the end. Going into this map, I feel like it gets a little bit harder to be that difference maker.
You do have to take the initiative here, though, a lot of the time as a soldier, to make something happen for the team. And it's often not pretty, but that's the life you choose when you're picking up the soldier class here. You need to be a little bit of the sacrificial lamb, but certainly I'm looking forward to see how these teams are playing the mid-fights. Despite it being as open as it is, you do have a couple of options of how you want to approach this. I see a lot of aggressive teams. I see some passive teams here and there as well. And certainly you have the option to send someone deep behind as well, if that's the route you're going to go as well. And certainly with how Jevin played the gully mids, I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen.
Yeah, so we are live right now. This is map 2 of the ETF2L Premiership Week 4 matchup between the Bus Crew and Alvin and the Britmunks. Map 1 did go the way of the Bus Crew right now, so both teams are just going to be rolling out right now. ALX and Deli are going to be exchanging a little bit of spam early on. Looks like Deli actually managed to find a kill onto ALV already. Jevin goes down, gets traded off onto Koyo as well right now. That's a lot of presence early on onto the enemy cafe coming out of the blue team.
Yeah, they just want to play aggressive on this one, but they're getting shut down by Warped Caper really hard. Samsky's skills land on the medic, not in time though. Shut down by Caper as well here. Caper is trying to save this mid-fight entirely. Otto's super stuck right now as well here. They need to get the medic here, or else this is looking really ugly. But the rockets aren't enough for Math as Martin lives on 20 health. And Alf is already up again, but just setting up on last, knowing fully well that while this aggression started well and got them far, it didn't get them far enough here, and in the end Bus Crew pulled through, just surviving long enough to get all these kills in the end.
Yeah, so that gives them a massive 100% Ubercharge advantage and puts up the eternal question of, are you good enough to push Sunshine last? Which is, I've seen teams crumble at this, so they do have an Ubercharge advantage, which is pretty much, this is pretty much all you can really ask for, unless you, like, want the enemy team to be wiped. At this point, pretty much perfect, so they do get in that demo man, but he's heavy coming out of that. Samsky right there does delay the Uber. Pretty much the entire of the Uber is spent killing that heavy. Mathis bombs in. He bombs in alone right now. There's a soldier on the other side. So ALX drops really low here. He can't stand on the point as long as they want. They just send across their players there. And the Bus Crew, that's an incredibly early round, especially with the pace coming out of that last game. This looks to be a little bit different so far.
Yeah, they're shifting gears here a little bit, trying to speed up the game quite a bit off of a good mid win, obviously a lot easier to do as well, but that alone changes everything about this game. Last time it was like tied forever. It being a lead immediately instantly shifts how Britmunks has to think about this as well.
So really fast rollout here comes out of the soldier right there. Jevin does get taken down. Koyo in the meantime manages to find a kill onto Deli. Jevin's gone down as well, and you can see that shuts down the middle out of the Bus Crew pretty much before it even begins. It's so quick. You lose your demo man like that, you lose a soldier as well. What are you even gonna try to do? It's so difficult.
Yeah, certainly Britmunks, with the freedom they have out of a free mid win like that, trying to extend a little bit more, and with Warped extending for the pack, they're actually free to take second maybe as well. Deli is trying to stay behind a bit, throw some traps around maybe, but not even that can happen in the end. Just settled with Shutter Trap at the end of all this, and this is really great news for Britmunks. The aggressive mid not working too well last time, this time around, with just an immediate kill here at the beginning before anything started. Obviously a much different story. Trap is spotted and kind of cleared at the very least. Caper sniping as well in the midst of the sandmate here, while Adels is on engineer. They're trying to set up for defense. They don't want to fall prey to a round that they just basically got themselves here. A very quick one with no ability to counterplay much. Jevin with the wraparound as well, trying to style on them from the back line, but doesn't get very far right now. Tries to fall back even more, but no, Elf is not letting that happen.
So they do just end up trading soldiers there. Koyo just tries to go and get that sniper, but Caper backs off into the loving arms of his French demo man. Lives to tell the tale. So it's pretty much all eyes on him right now, as Ubers are even. They have off classes set up. That's a very cool sentry gun, making bacon. It's probably my favorite TF2 quote. So the engineer going, "Woo! Making bacon." I can't do an American accent. But AOV Takes his hand off this keyboard, wrong time, ends up getting sniped down by Caper. That's going to give him a little bit of an advantage. Maybe try to go in, but maybe Caper just runs into the entirety of the enemy team. Not much of an advantage. There we go. He does find himself a little bit of a peek onto the balcony. Doesn't quite actually get anything. There we go. They do stave off the aggression for now. Sniper not able to really find anything. Britmunks decided that maybe they actually just want to go walk their dog.
Oh, yeah, that's a good alternative. But yeah, quick pause here. We will find out obviously what it's for shortly. Bottom line is, Britmunks are very afraid of the possibility of getting sniped out of lobby. They are trying to not fall prey to that at all. Math was really lucky to not die trying to bomb the sniper in the first place when weak fighting the soldier and beefed the jump so he couldn't actually jump away quickly as well. Very fortunate for him not to die. That would have probably just made the Caper have even more peaks there available to him. Either way, with the immediate threat removed right now, most of Busker falling back, obviously Britmunks can breathe a sigh of relief here for a second, but that obviously doesn't get them out of the position they're in right now. Sure, they got the other team on last, which is always great news to have, but doesn't exactly help you make a play just yet, so they will have to start cracking some ideas here.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of them, maybe the obvious play, is to either sack in Samsky or Alv, depending on whether or not you want chocolate vanilla. You know, get a sniper up, get a spy up, something like that. Try to go for a play like that. It's extremely telegraphed if you just sack in a single scout. But you know, it happens. Getting up that sniper could be good, especially because snipers are really good at shutting down enemy snipers, and using that to sort of deter Caper from really wanting to be too aggressive, knowing that he could be stepping up into the enemy sniper sightline, is really good at shutting down that sniper, going for some really funny, aggressive plays.
Alright, I just opened up streams to find out how the other games are doing, but I accidentally clicked on ours, so I heard you talking twice, which was an interesting experience. Either way, to get back to the game at hand here, obviously, it's not just Britmunks trying to get in, it's equal parts of Nebraska trying to get out of here. Obviously, sure, they have the lead, they don't have as much pressure on them, but not being on your own last at all times does make it a little bit better to have a mistake happen and not immediately lose a round for it. So certainly there's still some will to not stay here forever. For that purpose, Conch and Sniper are their choices, obviously, to make Sniper very safe. Conch takes a little bit, 420 damage to get it built up, but once you have it, you get some bonus health more or less, basically, as long as you can deal some, and the speed certainly helps cover distances as well quite a bit. It's a bit of a style choice, really, which one between the two defensive banners you want to see. I think the Conch is a little bit more popular in the recent past, but I think at the moment I see the Battalion's backup pick up a little bit again.
Yeah, I think the movement speed out of the Conch is actually, honestly, pretty underrated. Being able, as a soldier, to just go that little bit faster allows the speed boost as well for the entire team. Pretty good. I'm not actually sure about how much faster it makes you, but I'm pretty sure it puts the medic back up close to where he used to be before the plugin, making him, I'm not sure if it makes him almost as fast as a scout, if it makes him just as fast as a scout, but it should make him pretty quick, which is nice. You're able to push out that little bit farther, be a little bit more aggressive, but there we go, as we do unpause. Exciting to see why we paused in the first place.
Worth of time, so that's going to be a hot minute before we actually can see anything regarding the pause here. For anyone wondering, I always mention it just in case people aren't aware. Pauses are not at the same time as you can see them in the STV as they happen in real life. It's always 90 seconds plus however long the pause was, so you know, you have a rough estimate when to expect it. Normally there's a small hiccup on the server as well when it happened, because obviously that's when it happened, right? So you'll probably notice when it happened. The question is why. You might find an answer. Maybe someone just like has 100 ping before it happened 4 seconds, so maybe it's obvious, who knows. Either way, we're back into the thick of things, which isn't exactly very much happening. There's no German trying to sneak up behind, gets a good amount of damage on the Demo Man, but Alex eating all the damage certainly just makes sure there's no one else gets taken low here. No pressure onto auto just yet. They can remain calm, take a little bit more space, just bit by bit. Given that they just earlier been outside fearing a sniper, they're slowly but surely starting their own pressure now into last again.
Yeah, so without that sniper, as you're saying, it does lower the pressure a little bit. They're going to want to go for something. But I think they also just kind of realize they can just sit here forever and not really do anything. They are at that round advantage. Snake Sunshine, rather, is really hard to convert. And there we go. Actually, Jevon Gets that kill onto Auto.
Alright, they're trying to take this from left immediately as well, trying to see if they can peek for something here, but everyone's just staying on the other side of the point with the gun. No incentive for the Basque to peek any more than that. And like give these people looking for a sec any opportunity to get close for the medic, so not much coming of that in the end. Martin still has, and they certainly are willing to try to make a play for this out of last hit, finally start the offensive again.
Yes, they are going to be pushing out right now. This is Soldier pretty close in Flower right now. Mathis is dropping down to 80 HP already. Their stake is on this point, but ALX decides that maybe the pipe launcher that aims itself is good enough to kill scouts. As right now, they have not popped the Uber out. It looks like they are posturing towards this cafe area. Definitely Whoop getting a little bit aggressive here. Auto 75% now, so I'm not actually sure if they can push this. Gonna have to be a little bit aggressive. Maybe they can get mid, but never mind. Alvin and the Britmunks are finally back in. That's a lot of spam coming out of Delhi onto Mathis. You're pretty much the only one on the high ground right now. Look at the positioning for the Britmunks. It's not that great. Koyo is going to get taken down by Caper once again. So Uber's coming out of both sides, but you can just see the positioning for the bus crew on its own. Actually, Jevin in onto Auto as well. Gets that kill, which now means the follow-up for the bus crew is going to be so much harder.
Yeah, they had like so many people weak, so it's not surprising to see some go down. But they're still trying to make plays happen. They have to. Martin alive is a huge problem. Mathis goes down, ALX, and the scouts in as well, trying to somehow get to this medic, but none of them can get close in the end. Desperately trying to even out the Ebers will not succeed. That is, any chance of fighting back on second obviously gone as well at this point. But I guess better do these sacks early than late. Just ensures that by the time they spawn, they will be up on last for the hold that certainly has to deal with a disadvantage here.
Yeah, so Martin right now nearing the 70%. It's only a 20% advantage, so they're going to have to move pretty much on the dot here. Both teams are pushing Martin now 95%. You can see them posturing, trying to go for the same push they did already where they bombed that demo on top. Oh, never mind. They're actually going to choose the other side right now. So they choose to go in from left here. The Soldier bombs across. This is not usually the way you actually push this, especially because you can see it gives Auto so much time to build up the Uber. They do have it now. Koyo and Alex are taken down, but so are Adelos and Delhi. It's a 2 for 2 right now. Martin forced out of that about the bomb. That's actually a trade onto the point right now. Look at the health. There's just an arrow onto the enemy soldier, but it's not enough.
That was really smart jumps to take there for the soldiers. Immediately baits everyone back. That's capable. Come back in for free for the repush here. And that's just good enough in the end to cap it out while they're getting pincered. Really smart maneuver by Basque, going up 2-0 a lot quicker than they did last map.
Yeah, certainly, but that also means that if you're the Britmunks, you're not necessarily as worried as you would be had it been on the last map, because instead of having 2 minutes to work with, they have 20. Koyo is taken down already. You can see Math is taking high ground, but the rest of his team is dead. He can't do anything if his soldier just dies immediately. He hits a nice rocket there onto Adelos. Alv going down as well. However, that's a soldier chasing in so deep. Auto's 50 HP as well. Warp has managed to find 2 cleanup kills. He's trying to fight this soldier. 2 HP. He has the whip out. It's not the whip, it's the pickaxe. As Auto does manage to barely escape with his life. I feel like if Jevin decided to reload a rocket, maybe he ran out of ammo, would have probably been able to kill that medic there.
Basque back in control for the most part here. Certainly not an opportunity to take last immediately, but getting all the way to second with this is certainly still very good news for them here. Samsky back on Sniper once again, trying to fend off anyone trying to be funny and come in early here. But Jevin with one idea though, trying to maybe also take the slow way out. Very well aware this is an even Uber stalemate. We can take our time here. We have a much more comfortable lead than last time right now. And why not take it slow for a second here and not risk as much nearly this time around for playing to last.
Yeah, so Samsky, you can see once again on that spy, checking core off glass. He should have spotted Jevin there on the sniper as well, so they know that he's sitting there. Soldier tries to peek him anyways, spots him, is down to 150 HP, can get headshot. Alex taking a little bit of damage. There we go. Sniper spotted. Does get the shot onto him. Samsky now is dead. That's a soldier pretty close. He's eating a lot of damage. Koyo down to 80 HP. ALV down to 8 HP. It's getting pretty difficult. This sniper's getting a lot of pressure in right now.
Alright, trying to get him more of an angle, but they're doing a decent job of trying to spam the man out as well. Not trying to let Javan have too much fun here just now. Ooh, flank in the back as well. Koyo tries to abuse the fact everyone's rotating one way. Tries to come in the other, gets a good amount of damage. Javan commits a bit too far in the gun. At least gets a kill on the NG. That maybe is gun down. If they dare sack another player here while Javan's down, they might be able to sack onto a blast. Oh, the gun there. But it's not gonna happen. Never mind.
Yeah, so a headshot out of Samsky and as well as Sticky Trap coming out of ALX. They're going to lose both their scouts right now. As you can see, playing pretty passively, but not having scouts to deny bombers actually puts them in a really interesting position. Puts them very strangely. You can see actually Koyo, he tries to go in for a bomb. Completely misreads where the enemy medic is hiding. Martin is just nowhere to be spotted. Koyo blindly jumps up top and Martin looks at him as he jumps into the rest of his team, gets taken down. So now they have a pick, actually. Samsky's still on Sniper, so is Caper this time. It's going to be another duel. Actually, Deli tries to bait out the shot there. Doesn't quite get taken down. Sniper peeks. So, welcome to Highlander gameplay. Sniper versus Sniper. This is my favorite.
Being careful about it, at least not trying to just give away their heads for free here just now. Certainly can't understate the engineer role in this, however, with the focus on the snipers here. This gun being up is a big deal. Just having this auto-aim on the last point, able to take care of any and all jumpers fairly easily, is obviously making it a lot harder for Bosco to get any place going right now.
Actually, Caper manages to find a kill onto ALX there, which is pretty nice. No Demo Man means that he can go so aggressive. He's trying to go for this really funky shot onto Auto. Doesn't quite get it. Soja bombs him. Not able to find the kill. That Demo Man pick is good, but they have to do something about it right now. Deli is walking across. It's a nice little pipe onto the enemy. Caper gets a kill onto Samsky as well. Koyo taken down. Buskrew, they're finding the pick saver. Are they able to convert the round? You can see where Auto is holding right now. They want to do something, but if you just bomb into the enemy pipes, you're just going to get taken down there, Mathers. Right now, you can see the Sniper pressuring so hard. It's 3 up for the Britmunks right now. Buskrew, they're walking in for free. The trip says in the enemy base where the bus is headed right now. It is parked outside. And I don't know. Thank the bus driver.
Well, I feel like they're gonna come back in here pretty quickly though with what they have going right now. Having still the sniper on the field is a bit annoying, and Britmunks is certainly trying to peek through to get to Martin in any capacity, but fact of the matter is he's out of here way ahead of time, and with that Lua will stay intact. Should they have to make this happen for Sniper? In fact, no they won't. Look at that, Caper actually on his track back to last very early there, just to make sure that they are ready to go with the lineup they want to see for this last push here, and maybe just pull ahead 3-0 quickly here. Not have to worry too much about a comeback just yet.
Yeah, especially when you are standing like this with the foot on the jugular. It's a 40% advantage for them. The Uber is going to come out right there. As Demon does get bounced a little bit, but Sentry and Dispenser gets taken down. There's a scout on the point. No stickies on it right now. They can just play it. There is another sack onto the point. It's so close to being captured. It looks like maybe so far the Britmunks, they are able to hold it off. Watch out for flanks here. You pretty much have to stand on the point if you are the Britmunks. You could stand on this point for like half a second and you just win the round instantly. So quick. And there is a kill onto Mathis out of Caper as well. He likes to play these flanks as well. You need to watch out if you are the enemy team, but it looks like Caper is gonna walk back out. They should be getting this cap onto second here. Koyo, however, taken down. Counter aggression comes out of the bus crew. Caper takes another 1v1 in the lobby right now. Is gonna get shut down, but Uber's forced out of the Britmunks right there. AOV does get a demo kill, might even get a scout kill. But if you're walking away and you're Martin right now, you're a grunting little child after getting away with like doing something naughty.
Yeah, I mean, really, that was one guy going behind and suddenly every head on the server turns just to make sure they don't all die to him. However, Britmunks aren't slowing down either this entire way onto the opponent's choke, Mathis and LAX, with all the damage to clean up the medic here, but they're banking it all on that play to the point where not much is left standing here. Suddenly they're finding themselves in basically the same position. It's just medic plus 1 running for their lives. If they, however, unlike Martin, can get away with this one right now, which certainly looks like it's, seeing as everyone has spawners basically here. They still have the last laugh on this one here. They will have an advantage out of this one and ability to play off it fairly quickly as well, mind you.
Yeah, I mean, this advantage can be dealt with. The only thing that I think is, once again, you look at how much, just like straight up how much ground you have to cover. If you're trying to push into mid, you can see the bus crew, they're postured around their own cafe. They're sitting on Tetris and on top. You have to be able to claim this high ground, and when you push out of second, it's actually telegraphed really early on. You have a lot of time, if you're the bus crew, to respond. Actually sending the sack right now. They managed to find Koyo. Maybe even kill there onto Samsky. ALX does get a kill onto Deli, however. They are pushing mid. The Uber was popped out the entire time, but look at Caper. He forces the entire enemy team back here. He might even get this cap.
It's not quite enough, but tries to make the most of it, tries to get some kill. Also denied on that one. Still, dragging everyone back like this is huge. Let's Jevon and Daddy both spawn to try and fight mid a little bit. They're already way forward, maybe a bit too early, so obviously Britmunks have better numbers, but no, they're doing enough damage here in choke to just not allow anyone in straightly back into this point here. So this just about works for us correctly. Caper, just with his presence in the backlines, is really putting in second thoughts into Britmunks' place here right now.
Look at how aggressive Deli is playing. He's pretty much single-handedly forcing the enemy team out of second right now. They're walking so far back. They don't have the Uber. There we go. Go to 99 to 100% now. So the Ubers are even. They should know this. It looks like, however, Bus Crew, they're just setting up once again in onto the enemy lobby. Deli is going to get bombed, but shouldn't get taken down. It's a sniper out of Alv. Maybe doesn't get anything right there. Soldier is sacking forward. Tries to get something here on the right side. There is a scout contesting. Caper gets a kill onto Koyo. Should be getting away. Okay, shut down by Samsky with the pistol. So, they trade 1 for 1. There's a sniper up on the red team. And I don't think, once again, the bus should be parked, at least for a little bit.
Jammin still having the last attempt here to try to make something happen, but quickly swatted down in a better attempt for maybe the Britmunks now to take some opportunity. Obviously, 12 minutes is not that much more time left on the server here, and they are still having 2 rounds to cover to get back to golden cap scorelines if they want to make the comeback happen here. So it's gonna be tough for them, especially stuck on last, as they are trying to peek forward as much as they can, but they don't like what they're seeing on the other side. Sticks all over the place, everyone's watching them, sniper included on that one, so hard to make a move right now.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to be peeking up into that sniper a little bit too prematurely, end up losing it. See, there is a banner on one of the red soldiers. There we go. Caper does get killed onto ALV. Nice little headshot onto Koyo as well. Drops him down really low. You can see he is getting aggressive. He knows there are stickies there out of the demo man. Can't get too aggressive, but with Koyo down, continue pressuring here. Nice with the sniper down as well. He's going to try to peek lower here. Go for something. That's a scout right in his face. Thankfully, he does have his own friend to help him.
They're peeking so deep on all angles, so both soldiers like way deep in from the entrances to try to get some more damage in, as well as the sniper from the third sideline on top of that, just to be even more of an annoyance for them to deal with. Certainly a lot to deal with right now for Britmunks. They're struggling a bit to take care of all of this, and the lack of a gun right now is being felt at all times for Busby to just be able to take a little bit more of a peek, for all soldiers to just be able to be a little bit more threatening at all times here. And they have to do so much work right now to not let anyone peek any deeper than they are already.
Yeah, and especially when there's advantage is at the position that it is. It's a 2-round advantage. Uber's popped out on to Samsky there. Does get a singular kill on to Jevon, but I don't think if you're trading an Uber charge for this, you're just trying to go for something. You don't really end up getting that much. Jevon should be spawning already. There is a sniper out of Caper, so maybe you can potentially say that this is a 2-player advantage right now. Mathis has used this to be able to get in behind. Deli's taken down once again. Mathis in onto the medic. Mountain's so low, he's 9 HP to get taken down. 8 lost 41 as Samsky.
Oh no, the Jevon bomb!
Oh,
onto the medic, gets onto auto, misses one, but it's good enough in the end anyway. That was one sketchy rocket. Adel was also still around. You were about to say it, but it didn't even matter. Jevon just does it by themselves. Everyone's way too far ahead on point. And in the end, there's still bus crew players left trying to keep fighting for this one. Caper in already. Daddy with that as well. They're not really liking the idea of losing this point right now. And with the late auto pick, how are they going to really keep fighting this on Britmunks?
Yeah, I mean, apparently just by killing Caper, Samsky there gets a nice little kill onto him. Does not respect as maybe Quake. So it gives you Quake DM and not TF2 DM. I shouldn't say that because it's just not true. Ubers are even. It's about a 20 ad right now for Auto. ALX getting a little bit aggressive, but looks like Deli even more aggressive. Auto does come in. Koyo not quite hitting that air shot onto Martin. Would have been very cool if he had hit that. Samsky's still, it's just kind of up on cleanup duty, but it's really hard for him right now. His teammates are not very healthy. The enemy team has a medic. It's just pretty much these scouts right now, Samsky and Alv, are going to have to hit absolutely everything. They want to hold this right now. There's just both scouts. You can see Aidlos and Caper just jukes them out around the corner. Their health is superior. They don't get two-shot. Koyo and Auto, the only ones left alive. Martin, massive advantage here. Auto only at 30%. Cap on second already. They're trying to build this. There's still 2 players down. Neither scout is up. Bus Crew, if they want to go aggressive here, they can get this round.
Yeah, they certainly have all reason to, and going up 3 right now is massive for them at this short of a time left at this point. Certainly just looking for the best way in right now, peeking a little bit lower it seems to be. Dali leading the charge for the blue team. Gun is not being built. Warp at least goes back down early in the sidelines here. That might help a little bit, but the push is already in, trying to get the point early. Capham's running. They have to come in and block this now.
Yeah, the kill on to ALX was pretty big, but it looks like the heavy and the scout cleanup is going to be even bigger. That heavy, it's just such a big body. It does so much up-close damage. You don't have time to kill it and get on the point at the same time without dying. It looks like it is going to force them out for now. Soldiers just going to bomb in and make sure Bus Crew don't get any funny ideas about trying to fight them on second right now. Auto, 50% advantage. They should be looking to try and get into mid here. And in the reverse, Bus Crew, they just want to get a force and then just get out. You can see where Martin's positioned. He doesn't want really to be anywhere near the enemy team.
Well, Caper once again winning the 1v1 Javelin as well, for that matter. Able to stick in the backline. We are exactly where we were before. Caper on the back cap, and everyone's just getting stuck in the decision-making. Bomb for a lot of damage. He doesn't quite get Auto just yet, but they can just keep rolling forward here on Basket. They have no reason to stop just now. That's the force finally happening. Caper even leaving alive as well. Will have to use themselves the courtesy of Mathis' counter-sack, but they will get this point for sure. And I mean, at this point with this lead, that is good enough for them.
Yeah, there we go. It should be really... This is such a scary position for the Britmunks right now. They actually do manage to spam out decently. They get a kill onto Idlos as well. This shouldn't actually be a round conversion, as Ubers are even as well. So it looks like they're just going to set up on a last again. But this is now... You're starting to look at the timers once again. It's 7 minutes. For 2 rounds on Sunshine is actually pretty hard. We did see a couple really early rounds coming out immediately, and since then, it's just been kind of a slugfest back and forth, but Bus Crew, very favorable position here.
Yeah, I mean, this like all of this gameplay later here on the second map, we're finding ourselves exactly where we were at the end of Gullywash. Barely any time left for Britmunks to make a 2-0 comeback. Currently stuck on last. Exactly not where you want to see yourself when you're already down on rounds as well. And Bus Crew have just the pace of the game in their hands right now to decide how they want to take this. And certainly, at the moment, they're still playing it safe right now. No reason to take the big risk just yet.
Samsky is up on Spy. He has managed to maneuver himself into his own lobby, as he's just going to make it really hard. Actually, oh, never mind. Okay, he bumps a scout to try to juke and jive his way out. Maybe should be able to get out there just fine. He's going to have to reconsider his options and maybe Spy. Watch it been spotted out like that just isn't the best move. Warped, actually, look at him. Tries to get in aggressive, shoots a rocket zone scout, ends up getting taken down by Stickies out of ALX. Not exactly the most optimal sequence of events.
I like how Alvin's currently just peeking deep with heavy. They kind of have to take chances like this, I suppose. Martin with an arrow snipe leads another one, and that one's never coming. Mathis with the kill on the medic there. Alvin heavy already on the high ground on second, trying to just be annoying. Certainly makes life hard for Idlers and Daddy around the point here, but they're still alive. With Warp running now as well, this just makes things a little bit more uncomfortable for Britmunks, who just really want to get out of last, but all this pressure towards the point is making them fall back. Probably actually so bomb through as well. No Uber-use though for also there. What a close call on that one. Let's see if they can finally get out of this last one. Koyo trying to lead the charge, but way ahead of the team here. Just bombs into 3 people. Goes down pretty quickly. Backup threatened by Soldier going dungeon as well. Scout on the flank as well. Everyone's trying to just make this all as much as impossible as they can. Be Javelin on the cap. They're falling back to deal with that one. Will do so, but for a trade in the end.
Oh, looks like ALV is the only one on the point. Look at the health, it's so bad. Also, finally pops out the Uber, but with ALX taken down as well, you can see the bus crew there trying to get just in onto the point. The cap is almost captured already. There's a scout on the point. Caper doing a lot of damage. Koyo taken down already. That medic is not with his scout. There we go. That's another round for the boss crew. Full 20 seconds left. But 3 rounds. I don't want to be that guy, Dom, but I think this might actually just be mathematically over.
It isn't quite, but I can see where you're coming from, because it takes pretty much a miracle at this point to make this happen. And like realistic average like fast round is like 1.5 minutes, so you need to be that even to make this happen. Certainly they've been trying to play aggressive, but besides the 1 kill onto Delhi early, they haven't had those really. And Koyo still believing in that, but it's just not happening. That predicting them pretty quickly on those attempts here, and that is just 1 down right away on their own part now.
Yeah, the damage onto ALX is massive. Delhi and Warped are taken down, but Mathis and ALV in return are dead right now. So ALX and his medic, they are out on second. Jevon forces the enemy team back so far. Soldier is bombing on the point. Mountain actually doesn't have anyone with him because his 1 scout fighting a medic in low right now. Actually hasn't managed to kill Auto. There we go. Finally taken down. Caper on a mid building with his medic. Delhi has now spawned up, and it's 3 minutes left. So a minute around for the enemy team in Alvin and the Britmunks right now. They pretty much have to get around right now, and they just have to keep going. They know they have to just press W here. Koyo is in. They get the force out, but they end up sacking 3 for it. So Delhi going to be jumping forward. The bus crew, they know they can just play this safe. So we should be pretty much entering trash time at this point.
Yeah, the moment you're locked on last at this point is just curtains, I would imagine, for the set of Britmunks here. A little bit disheartening how this went, but Bascu certainly stepped up the pace here quite a bit. Just a much better start to the game on this map here than on Gullywash. So whatever the end scoreline will be here, it is well deserved there. Certainly not letting off the gas just now, trying to get 1 more on the board, make the second scoreline look a lot more respectable than the first one for themselves. Certainly winning these CM fights while not Kemper cleaning up any damage the team delivers and capping up the point to boot as well. 4-0. Plenty of time for another round as well, I suppose. I don't know if that will necessarily happen, but the option is there.
Yeah, so it does seem like will be Jevon rolling out on Sniper to mid. Maybe that 5th round is a little bit optimistic. Sniper to mid on Sunshine is it's interesting, definitely. The sightlines are not very good, especially because most of the time when you're shooting a player, you're on Sniper and into mid, it's probably because they're in your face, which is really hard. I say that.
Or you just get the medic.
Shoots the medic. So thank Cast to Cuss. Powerful as always. He actually manages to no-scope ALX as well. Koyo, the only player alive. He's behind on second, just trying to consider what he can do. How do I set up the air shot so I get the frag video and I get something out of this official?
Well, the spawn camp might be the answer here. Just waiting for it right now. People are falling back to try to escort the medic. And anyone else, I guess, Alos and Delhi taking the force here as well. And they're not seeing it coming just yet. Delhi lands on the fence though. That's actually insane.
Yeah, so Delhi narrowly escapes death right there. Now he's called out as well. Koyo, pretty much the only man on his team capable of playing the game right now without just kind of throwing everything.
Ooh,
Martin shot down by Samsky there, actually, which is pretty nice. Martin, of course, not abiding by the rules of playing really safe in dead time, so your logs aren't terrible, but looks like
no, they
likes...
want the logs to get better at this point. That's all this is about. Everyone's just going in, both soldiers trying to make a play. It's not going exactly well, and Jevon has the freest peak from now off his life as well.
Yeah, so it looks like Jevon is going to get taken down. That's a cap coming out. It looks like actually we did get the 5th round. Alvin and the Britmunks not quite able to keep it up on Sunshine, dropping a few more rounds, but that was honestly a lot closer than this final 5-0 makes it seem.
Yeah, this is a 3-0 in my heart. That what it was like decided by the 3-0 scoreline, and then the rest was just still happening, I suppose. Yeah. It's interesting though. I feel like Britmunks played better, especially with on Gullywash, than the last time I've seen. And I watched their Snakewater game, I believe. And at that time, it felt like they always tried a bit too much, kind of like what Baskus was suffering from on Gullywash themselves. I feel like they were steering clear of a lot of those mistakes that match. So there seems to be some improvement here. Not enough to take a point, unfortunately. This is a really big opportunity. Off-point missed as well, being this close against a team that is projected 4th place for most people, I would imagine. Getting points here would have been huge. That's points that's so difficult for any of the other lower-seeded teams to get in the end. So very, very unfortunately, not a single point for them. And Basku with a working win here, much, much stronger looking on Sunshine.
Yeah, ultimately, it felt like Buskrew just ended up sort of outmaneuvering Alvin and the Britmunks in the sort of key situations there. So, fortunately, not able to walk away with anything. As you were saying, this was one of the better opportunities you have, sort of in the category of could win instead of must win in order to be relevant for the rest of the season. I think they definitely had a decent showing, especially on Gullywash. It was pretty close pretty much the entire time. Ultimately, in the end, just not quite able to keep it up. Almost sort of, I feel like Busker kind of playing the Uno reverse card compared to what we saw out of them the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, this time the other one is just about not letting your team get the win here. Just barely taking the 5-1 win this time instead of going down 5-1 themselves here. So close affair at the end of the day here. But I think there's no point delaying this too much because there's still a game going. There's 2 minutes left, but it might go to a golden cap. So I think it might be better instead of us talking about logs in a 5-0 game too much, even if it was a 3-0 realistically. Global Clan U against Kritzberg for defense on Team Fortress TV2 is still going, and it's not unlikely going to a golden cap. So I think it's best to throw the views over there and keep the ball rolling here. And we can see you guys on Thursday tomorrow for one more game before the cup on the weekend here. Hosted by Central CF and DreamHack for the big 2K prize pool we have here on the online cup. Should be a fun week to come here, and one more game left to go.